Uh, be recorded just so you guys know. Probably gonna put it on YouTube. So but oh yeah, sorry, we started. The title of my presentation is called "From Skid to Pro: An Intro to the Art of Computer Exploitation." How do I go to the next slide? This is So most of you guys already know me, but I wrote a very small thing about me. I'm sexy. I'm a cat enthusiast. And when it comes to like cybersecurity stuff, my specialization tends to be like web applications. So getting what I'm the best at. So this is going to be just an intro to like hacking and stuff. So I don't know. It's always been a hobby of mine since I was 16, 17. Kind of got interested in it, and then no, that's not. I wish, but we're going to tell you how to set up a lab. Um, but just when I kind of went to the university, there was the cybersecurity club, and I wasn't doing as much of that computer stuff. But then I just kind of got a lot more interested in the hacking stuff. So for those of you who don't know how to do any of this stuff, you might want to create a lab. So you're gonna want a pen testing Linux distribution. A lot of people, it's very common to use Kali Linux, but there are other options if you don't want to do that. There's also something called Metasploitable, which is a vulnerable virtual machine. So if you want to practice hacking on a target, this is a vulnerable virtual machine that's pretty easy to hack on. We also have, this is just a YouTube video. Um, this will teach you how to build your own Active Directory lab, which can be pretty helpful. This is called, guys, I'm going to swear, I'm sorry, the Damn Vulnerable Web Application. So what that is that it's a web application that's vulnerable. So like if you want to practice doing any web attacks, you can practice on this. Yes, what's your question? Yes, if that makes sense. So, but a lot of these errors that you'll see in the real world too, if that makes sense. So learning these things are just great things to practice on. Yes? Yeah. I yeah, so I can show you guys how to do some of that stuff. I was thinking today, but I don't think we have enough time for that. But if you guys want next week, I can show you how to do that stuff. Um, yeah, that would be totally, I would love to do that. So, and then one more thing, if you want to create your own lab, a lot of the times you might want like gear. And this is just a website called Hack5. John doesn't have JavaScript loaded, and I'm not going to mess around with that. But okay, let's see. Is this the one I press? Or is that one? Okay. So Hack5 is it's a company that sells a lot of like hacking gear. And if you wanted to buy some of that stuff, this is just a good shop to go to. So if you want to create your own lab, this is a lot of stuff you can do to create your own lab. Next, shop.hack5.org. No. And that's what I use. Um, if you're getting into hacking, I'm going to show you my favorite resources. These are my two favorite YouTube channels. There are more YouTube channels. So the two YouTube channels I like to watch for learning how to do computer hacking are Hackersploit and IPSec. With YouTube, there has been some controversies. YouTube has been banning a lot of hacking videos. And so I don't know. That's I guess, yeah. They kind of get mad at hacking videos sometimes. But please check out these two channels if you have the time. I'm just going to show IPSec really quick. IPSec has a really cool um, website called ipsec.rocks. And what's really cool is, let's say I want to learn how to do antivirus evasion, right? I can type in AV evasion, and then he has this. I can click on this, and it brings up his video about how he obfuscates Mimikatz to bypass antivirus. And so you can just look up, like, let's say, did I cancel my Oh no. Let's say you want to look up like how to do buffer overflows. Um, you can click on his video. Usually he does a lot of boxes, but we'll talk about that later. But it'll go to the timestamp and he'll show you how to do a buffer overflow. So I think IPSec, he's a freaking genius, man. Honestly, this guy is insane. Total genius in my opinion. And then Hackersploit is just he is kind of how I started getting into this kind of stuff. We can just view his channel if we want. Um, he has a lot of cool content. So like right now he's doing a blue team series, how to exploit the new dirty pipe vulnerability, um, Eternal Blue, dumping hashes, Log4j, et cetera, et cetera. So super high quality content, and I'm a huge fan of his. And then when you're getting into cybersecurity, I think certifications are great. Certifications. So these are my favorite there are probably some better things. I don't know. When you're looking for certification, it's really important to look for so, for example, I'm going to certain cert. There's it's a lot of choice questions, and if you're looking for a certification, it's going to teach you how to do computer hacking. If it's multiple choice, isn't really giving you that real experience. So also, a lot of these a lot. There's a lot. I'll tell you all about it just in a second. These certs are great. However, not all certs are industry recommended. Um, the problem with cybersecurity is that a lot of industry recommended certifications are pretty expensive. So I would say like when people talk about like what is the entry level pen testing hacking certification, people are usually going to be talking about the OSCP. However, I'm a poor college $1,000 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's great for your career and it will teach you a ton. Buy a good used car for that. Yeah, exactly. Or even a brand new state of the art camera. So these are gaming. I'm focusing on college right now. So this is called PNPT. This is just um, so there's a company called TCM Security that I'm a big fan of, and they have a good certification that's pretty cool. So that's $500 lifetime. So I put different certs just for different budgets. And then this is just the Hack the Box certification, which I put it because it's just cheap. It's $8 a month if you're a student, which is really cheap. There's a lot more certifications. Put these three because these are the ones that I like personally. Um, anyway, so where are the best places to learn your skills? So three places. When you're starting out, Hack the Box, try Hackney. Start doing the the reason why I put this is because sometimes a lot of people are great and they get teaching skills, but sometimes CTS can be a little bit different than what the real world is like. And we can talk about how to do the real world circumstances, but there's just a lot of cool things. I don't know, it's just just I'm gonna show you these resources really quick because they're really a godsend. Um, so hack the box, try hack me. So I haven't tried Try Hackney before, but a lot of people like it a lot. I've heard it tends to be easier than Hack the Box from the people I've talked to. So they have all these like, you want to do the Pen Test Plus, my least favorite cert. You want to do Junior Penetration Tester, Pre-Security, Red Teaming. They have some cool stuff. And then for Hack the Box, they have a lot of machines you can do, and it tends to be hack. If you can't do a hack the box machine, don't feel bad because hack the box is freaking hard, man. It's tends to be a super high skill cap. So it used to be so like when I was like 16 or 17, I had a Hack the Box account, but you literally had to break into the website to create an account. So that was, I don't know. Yeah, but now they don't do that anymore. And it wasn't that hard to get in, but you used to have to break into the website to create an account, which is kind of funny. So those here are going to be probably the best places to practice skills and to learn, and school also. But school doesn't necessarily teach you all of the pen testing knowledge. It teaches you a lot of the fundamentals, which are great. But creating an account on Hack the Box or Try Hack Me can really help you with those fundamentals. So here is, how do I full screen this? F11. Yeah. Here's a basic tool set. These are all of the tools, but and when you're beginning doing this stuff, you should focus more on abilities and theory. Some people just think they learn everything. You have a question? Oh, sorry, I thought you raised your hand. Just focusing on learning tools you are good. You got to focus on theory. You got to learn how to utilize these tools, which is important. So here, this is a list I made of what I think is a very solid beginner tool set. So if you know how to use all of these, you will be extremely solid. Um, so we have Nmap, which is the port scanner, Burp Suite, which is great for web exploitation, FUF, which is good for most of you have used this all-around tool. Hydra, great for brute forcing stuff. SQL map, just with SQL injection, yada yada yada. So what it does is that what does it is that you send weird inputs to something and you see how it reacts. And based on how it reacts, it's just a way to try and do it. Yeah. What FUF does is that it passes a word list and it can try to discover directories on a website. So yeah, like let's say you go on a website and there's like a directory and it can discover certain directories that are on that site. Mhm. Exactly. And so what that can do is that can show web pages that you can't find. Exactly. So here we're going to talk about how to do this stuff legally and some careers you can do. If anybody, I think I got the main one. So does anybody here know what pen testing is? What's pen testing? Penetration testing is basically when a company hires you, they say, hey, try to break into our system and see what vulnerabilities exist. So we can fix them on our terms instead of having to get half the money from ransomware. And what's cool about pen testing is that they're trying to make it realistic as possible. So if you're a company and you get like good pen testers, like are the company or the organization. And so a lot of people do that as a job. They get paid. So it's a pretty decent job. And I just think it's cool. The job I think I'm trying to go for. Like I sick. So another thing is that again, there's probably like cyber warfare. A lot of the things you see nowadays is that there's like state-sponsored groups like in China and Russia who they'll just like hack targets for a living. So if you want to do like anything, there's probably a lot of government jobs. This is one that I find really cool. Like it's definitely legal, but you could debate the ethics of it. But it's called being an exploit broker. So no, no, no. So here's this company. This is a popular company in the security scene. This is where I got there's it's called Zerodium, and so there's something called bug bounties, which is you get permission to hack something and if you find vulnerability, you can report them. Me and somebody can also do a lot of web exploitation, and have done some stuff. The problem with some bug bounty platforms is that they don't clear it up. It's free. So if you're gonna do like stuff like there's like companies called like HackerOne where you can hack like you get permission to hack certain websites, certain companies' websites. However, you don't get paid a lot for the vulnerabilities. And like $300. Like I don't know the exact pay, but so it depends really. Honestly, I don't know. What a lot of bug bounty hunters do is that they'll instead of trying to they'll a lot of times what I'll see is that they'll pick a very popular vulnerability, let's say SQL injection, and they'll just go to every single site testing that, if that makes sense. And in my opinion, it's boring and it doesn't teach you good skills, if that makes sense. So you probably could make. There are people who probably do make money doing some of these bug bounty platforms, but I think they're exploitive. Yeah. But with Zerodium's a little bit different because you're actually going to get paid really good for these bounties. Um, I'll talk about it. So it's an exploit acquisition platform. So it will pay big bounties to security and previously unreported zero-day research. So if you find privilege escalation vulnerabilities in Linux or Apple. You can sell those. Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. th- They show you all the details, and they have this little chart right here, um, which they'll show you how much the payout is. And there's some people like um, yeah. So like there are there are people who have discovered like big like huge vulnerabilities, and they've sold them to Zerodium, and they get paid bank. And there are some people who they just do like exploit development. There are hackers who just do exploit development, like that's their specialization. They'll try to find vulnerabilities with Linux kernel. They'll try to find vulnerabilities in Windows. They'll try to find iPhone vulnerabilities. Just recently, there was a no-click exploit not too long ago with the iPhone, but there was, if your iPhone isn't updated right now, there's a pretty big vulnerability going out right now. So, yes. So generally, I'm not an expert at cyber law, but I think that it's not illegal to discover exploits. It's illegal to use them, from my understanding. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong? Um, not Zerodium. Not Zerodium. What? Mhm. So I interesting. I didn't know that. Um, but I would also so yeah. Also, I would just like to do an interjection really quick. There is this really fun competition. I forgot what it's called. I forgot, but zero. I don't know. But does Zerodium sell the exploits to governments? Own to own. Yes. 1 second. Let me. The reason why I said you could argue it's a little unethical is because sometimes they might sell those exploits to world governments, and those world governments. I'm saying it's legal. I'm not saying it's ethical. I'm saying it looks totally legal to me. But if you wanted, like, do, no, not Zerodium, not Zerodium. Zerodium's different. HackerOne does. And it's often getting bogged down like to the better are um, the bad. Okay. Discovering exploits is not easy. You like very difficult to discover exploits. Second of all, there's been a lot of times companies computer hackers who they big vulnerabilities to companies and they just kind of which is pretty stupid. Yes. I'm gonna try getting to the next slide. You can say what you got to say, but it is 8 right now. You're free to feel free to leave if you'd want, but I'd prefer if you stay. I'm not gonna try to go too long. But did you want to say something really quick? You could also be a security researcher. So there's a YouTuber called John Hammond who's really cool. He is a security researcher, and you should check out his YouTube channel. And I would say like hacking and security research are tend to be pretty similar, and a lot of security researchers they do find zero-day exploits. So kind of similar there. And then also, if you wanted to make money, you could always be a content creator. You could or a teacher. You could teach at the university how to do pen testing. There are some pen testing courses at UVU, or you could even start up a YouTube channel. So I don't know. I love doing computer stuff. So here's how to do it legally. I mean, there's definitely, you could start a ransomware group, of course, and make money, but that's not ethical, nor is it legal. So here are all the cool legal methods you can use to make money. So here's a career path I made. comment on any who wishes to comment on this, but I think you can do computer science to get into cybersecurity. This is purely my opinion. As someone who did both, I think IT is the way to go. Computer science can be useful, but I think IT needs hands-on skills. So that's my opinion. Um, with computer science, I'd say from what I've experienced, cyber more of that kind of looking at the IT curriculum, I think out of all the
I can comment on that. IS does give you some hands-on. I have an associate. I have this, one of my associate degrees is in IS. So, yeah, we do have hands-on. It just depends on what you focus on. Like if you want to do database management or data analytics or something like that. You can even do database.
that works. That's perfect. That's perfect.
You can secure a database as a security specialist, which you can
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Is it okay if I get back?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. And then so just like cybersecurity in general, doing a college degree. However, experience so that's why I said certifications, CP, super valuable. Just having starting at can be pretty helpful. And then also CTF, they're really good practices. And by the way, we're having a competition on in October, CTF in October. And it will be accessible for beginners and advanced. So everyone free. Yep. And now we're going to talk about the cool stuff. So when you're doing pen testing, computer hacking, any of that stuff, you want to have a methodology. So I'm going to show you these 2 pages. So this is a cool website. And what it shows is that it's a knowledge base of adversary attacks, tactics, and techniques based on real-world observations. So the world's best hacking groups, these are the things that they're doing. So if you want to learn how the world's best hacking groups are establishing persistence, you can read about that. If you want to know how they're doing defense evasion, you can read about that. If you want to know how they're doing lateral movement, you can read about that. So this is just a very fun web page just to peruse, to see what the best of the best are doing. Kind of interesting. Are you okay if I continue this site's HTTP? Okay if I continue? Yeah. This is does everyone know what a methodology is? It's like, yeah. So this is just an example of a popular methodology for pen testing. So you do your pre-engagement interactions, your intelligence gathering, threat modeling. Yes, correct. Vulnerability analysis of exploitation, post-exploitation reporting. And let's say I want to read more about post-exploitation. Then you can just look and you can read, oh, how do I perform pillaging? Which pillaging means that once you exploit something, you take sensitive data. So here's how you perform some pillaging. So those are just some cool resources that I just really like, and I think they're cool. So this is this is a very simple methodology that I've found has proven to be helpful to me. And once you get advanced, you can start making your own methodology. So mine starts out with enumeration, which means that you're going to try to learn as much information about something. So for example, if I'm attacking a website, I'm going to find as much information about it as I can. I'm going to find out just like the subdomains and stuff like that. If there's hackers attacking the business, they're going to try to gather network information, host information, the identity of like employees. It's kind of funny. You can find a lot of information about a company on LinkedIn, like a lot. Like if you want to know the like how secure a company is, what you can do is you can go to LinkedIn and you can see how many cybersecurity employees do they have employed, how many are they hiring, and just like there's so much information you can gather, and I don't think it's illegal to gather information on something. It's legal. It's a little creepy, but so I'm not necessarily encouraging it, but it is legal. So you can do OSINT on employees, for example. Common nowadays, and it's pretty easy to get those. Not going to tell you how to, but pretty easy to do. And then footprinting. So that's enumeration. Next is going to be vulnerability assessment. So what you're going to do is you're going to see is there like leaks that are helpful. Fuzzing again, you're going to fuzzing for stuff, source code analysis, reverse engineering, and identifying CVEs. So these are just different common. Like, for example, pretty bad. Advanced groups have been using Log4j. And then I have like 2 slides left, so bear with me. And then after you perform your vulnerability assessment, you exploit. So this, a lot of the times, phishing is still really common, believe it or not. Even amongst the most advanced groups, phishing is just super effective and it's hard to prevent. So a lot of times, learn as much information as you target, and then you create a custom email that's sent to them to put them and then exploit their computer. There's web application attacks. That's another common way to get in. Wi-Fi attacks, another common way to get in. Active Directory, cloud exploitation, and this one's pretty fun. Saudi did it, and then he shipped it to the company. Yes, and then the company got the printer and he was able to attack the company through the security. Wow. So yeah. So there's a lot of crazy stuff like that. Or if you've ever seen the show, one second. If you've ever seen the show Mr. Robot, throws in the seed and then put in different sounds, all the sounds like that. Not too far from the interesting. Yeah. A lot of Internet of Things devices can be insecure, which is, and again, once you use, if you exploit an IoT device, you can pivot. And then this is my favorite phase. I forgot to, so this is like your post-exploitation phase. And then we'll cover this. This is my last slide, but I'm just going to cover this slide a little longer than others. So well, post-exploitation is you want to start doing stuff after that. One of the things I forgot to put on is covering tracks. So a lot of times when you exploit a computer, what happens is that there's logs. And so if you do it's easy to see what hackers have done and you can just look at the logs. So whenever, like, if I'm ever doing a box or something, thread the logs. Make sure the difference between meh is how good you are at covering your tracks. Those logs, that's really important. There's also something called privilege escalation. So just because you've excluded it doesn't mean that you have to what you want to do is you want to escalate your privileges, and there's many different ways to do that. If you look at that website I showed you, it can give you more information on that. And then there's something called persistence, which I believe that it takes an average of 30 days for a company to find with it. If you hack someone, you have like a lot of time to do damage. If that makes sense. Pillaging, which I mentioned, is that's where you start getting important information on systems, getting like hashes, getting important documents. That's where you census to know that information. And then pivoting, so once you um, if you attack something on the network, sometimes you can't do anything, so you can go to other devices within the network and move around. And then once you exploit something, you can do damage, like you can do ransomware, or you can do malware on the system. So yeah, those are the four. I mean, this is a very basic methodology, and this is the one that I kind of tend to use, mostly just for CTFs. But so gain as much information on a system as you can. Try to find vulnerabilities, exploit those vulnerabilities, post exploitation. Bada bing, bada boom. You've hacked something. So that's my presentation. Now, how do I stop it? And we're just on time, by the way, 8:13. We didn't go too over.
Thank you, Gabriel.